Hi there, my name is Ellen and I'll be correcting this essay for you today. I'm really happy to see that you have purchased an essay correction with us so that we can help you prepare for IELTS. So let's see what you did in this particular essay. This is the one about ex-convicts. So let's see what you said. It is believed by many that ex-convicts are in a suitable position to admonish the youth on the effects of engaging in illegal activities because they are said to be of a better behavior after their lives in prison. I totally disagree with this opinion, and my reasons will be detailed in this essay. All right, this is quite good. I like this. I thought you kind of ran into a risk here with this sentence. It was kind of long. You did a good job of rephrasing it, but I do question whether it might have been better if you had split it into two sentences rather than just one. For example, I don't think the right word here is admonish. It has a different meaning than what you probably want it to mean. So we're not really thinking about scolding or somehow punishing the youth, but we're saying really about warning them and just giving them the information to let them understand the dangers of crime. So for that reason, I don't think admonish was the best word here. And then I would have stopped the sentence here. I thought this was a little too much. So you could have redone it. Something like, it is believed by many that reformed ex-convicts are in a suitable position to advise the youth on the effects of engaging in illegal activities. I totally disagree with this statement, etc., etc. So do you see what I did? Rather than going into so much detail, I wrote reformed, and then I just got rid of this. And I think it flows a little better. You really don't want to spend a ton of time on your introduction. The introduction has a couple of roles to fill, but after you complete those sort of that checklist, if you will, you don't really have to get into a ton of detail. So you need to rephrase the topic, and then you need to provide a position on the topic, and then just move on and work on developing your body paragraphs. So let's see what you wrote for those. Firstly, ex-convicts are known to be more hardened after they're released from prison. It is no longer news that criminals in the world today have in one way or the other served punishment in the prison in their lifetime. They experience various kinds of cruelty from the prison wards. However, this tightens them up in such a way that they are not afraid of any kind of violence. Such people should never be allowed to teach the young people, as they can only corrupt them. For instance, a survey was carried out in Anambra State, and the result had it that about 75% of corruption in the state was carried out by citizens that have been set free from the prison. All right, so I didn't really change a lot in terms of grammar. I could. There were a few things that I would change, and that if time permits, I will. But I think you're not entirely on topic. Okay, let me tell you why. Because the assumption of this essay, oh, you didn't include it. Okay, the assumption of this essay is that some ex-convicts become better people after prison. Okay, and maybe not all of them, but that some of them become reformed and decide to be, good, upstanding members of the community. So it's those people that are suggested to speak to young people about crime. So what you did is you just kind of put everybody in the same barrel and said, no, ex-convicts are known to be hardened after their release. So what this does, first of all, is it kind of refutes the main tenet of the task, and they're telling you as a given that, you know what, some people do come out of prison better. Okay, but you've also overgeneralized. Okay, so you don't want to do that in IELTS. You want to show that there are layers, there are nuances, there are things are not so black and white. Okay, so what you could have said here is, firstly, some ex-convicts are known to be more hardened after their release. Okay, so that some really makes a difference. You're not overgeneralizing as much. And then I didn't really like this, it is no longer news. That doesn't really feel appropriate here. So you could have just said, it is common knowledge that criminals in the world today have in one way or another, I don't understand this, served punishment in the prison. What does that mean? I didn't really get that. Now here I wanted some sort of a linking device, like more specifically, they experience various kinds of cruelty. And then not tightens them up. You already used the word harden, and that's the right word, but not tighten. But again, I feel like there's a misunderstanding of the task, and that for me is fairly important because the task is not saying that all criminals come out, new and improved and ready to speak to youngsters, but some people do, and some people come out of prison as better people. And that these are the people that are being suggested to speak to young people. So by not really accepting this possibility and not even analyzing it as a possibility is not really doing your task achievement a ton of favors. Okay? Let's take a look at your next paragraph and your conclusion. Secondly, they form an awful gang while in prison. Okay, before I even go further, this is absolutely generalized, and this is the kind of language you do not want to use. What you want to say instead, is, secondly, some prisoners form gangs while in prison. Or, secondly, it is known that prisoners may form gangs while in prison. So again, nothing absolute, but just say that something is a possibility or that it may apply to some people. And I didn't like awful. We don't really say that. Oh, what an awful gang. So, no. Due to the fact that they are idle, they establish a group for themselves, thereby operating when they are out of there. All right, this is a little informal. Careful. When they are released would have been more formal. Furthermore, being filled with negativity, they only convince the adolescents to join their group and promise them protection. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And promising them protection, they offer absolutely nothing to the society rather than, THAN, endanger the lives of the people by carrying out the following activities: rape, kidnapping, assassination, etc. Instead of encouraging the youths to avoid crime, they introduce them to it. Okay. For example, cases of cultism were reported from a popular institution, and more than 80% of the group were ex-convicts. All right, again, I'm okay with the things you're saying. It's fine, but you can't be absolute. You need to just say this as, well, this is a risk you run. Okay? So, no, they are not the best people. They are the worst people. And this is why, because this could happen. This has happened. This may happen. Okay? If you take a look at the band descriptors for task achievement, you'll see that there is something about overgeneralization. And that's what's happening here. You're not tempering. You're not hedging your bets. You're not showing that there's nuance here. And what an examiner is essentially going to do is he or she is going to assume that this is a lack of precision with language. Okay, so the examiner is not going to assume that you have a very hard stance against this, but the examiner is going to assume that you probably could say some of these things in your native language, but in English you might not be able to. So it's going to count against you. They don't want to see overgeneralized language, because language that is more nuanced is a hallmark of a higher level. Okay. However, from what I'm seeing here, you do have this ability because the rest of your grammar and your writing is excellent. So what you need to just do is you need to develop this test-taking skill and understand how to write less absolute and less kind of black and white writing and make it more nuanced, showing some flexibility here. So to conclude, people freed from prison bring people bring corruption and illegal activities to society instead of positivity. Therefore, they should never be permitted to teach the young ones to stay out of crime because they rather engage them in it. Okay, that's fine. Again, it's absolute. I already said that. That's what you want to avoid. I thought you did a nice job in general, but this was a big problem, and it's something you have to work on. I would like to see more essays from you. I would love to see what you're doing with task 1. I'd like to see if you could apply some of the things that were discussed in this video correction today. So I would like to encourage you to sign up for more essay corrections with us so we can continue working together, and also so that we can see if there are any other kind of trouble spots that we need to work on. So hopefully we'll see more work from you in the future. I really look forward to it. And in the meantime, I want to wish you lots of luck.